This is a satellite image of the Beirut Port in Lebanon, captured on July 31st, 2020. But just 4 days later, something was about to happen here that would change everything. After that day, the port looked like this: hangars lying in ruins, destroyed beyond recognition. And right in the middle, a crater measuring 135 meters wide, as big as the length of two Boeing 747 airplanes. What exactly happened here that gave birth to the world's largest non-nuclear explosion? Welcome once again to a Flare TV videos. Viewers, on August 4th, 2020, a video clip went viral. In it, Isra Sablani, a bride, was standing at Beirut's Sci-Fi Square for a photo shoot. Suddenly, a massive shockwave forced everyone to run for their lives. Exactly 23 minutes before that moment, at 5:45 p.m., welders were repairing a hole in the wall of a hangar at Beirut Port. Because of the sparks, a fire broke out inside the warehouse. This was Hangar 12, located right next to the sea. 10 minutes later, at 5:55 p.m., a team of 9 firefighters and 1 paramedic arrived at the scene. After assessing the fire, they reported on the radio that something didn't feel right. The fire was growing out of control, and strange sounds were coming from inside. Only 12 minutes later, at 6:07 p.m., a powerful blast shook the port. Videos showed white smoke and flashes like fireworks going off. That's because Hangar 12 was storing a consignment of fireworks that ignited in the blaze. But this was only the first explosion, with a strength equal to 1,500 kilograms of TNT. Before people could even understand what had happened, just 30 seconds later, a second, far deadlier explosion ripped through Beirut. Dozens of cameras recorded it, because after the first blast, many people had started filming. A gigantic fireball rose into the sky. Its shockwave was faster than the speed of sound. A white dome spread across the city, caused by water vapor compressed under the shockwave's pressure. Then, a massive cloud of red smoke climbed into the sky. Experts say that this red smoke was evidence of ammonium nitrate stored in the hangar. The explosion was so powerful that even 200 kilometers away in Cyprus, people rushed out of their homes in fear. The shockwave shattered windows at Beirut's airport terminal, 8 kilometers away, and even ripped the steel rods out of nearby buildings. To put it in perspective, though the blast was in Beirut, the U.S. Geological Survey recorded it as a 3.3 magnitude earthquake. Scientists at Sheffield University later estimated its force to be equal to 1.5 million kilograms of TNT, 1,000 times stronger than the first blast, and almost 10% of the nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The hangars around the blast site were completely wiped off the map. Ships docked nearby were badly damaged. A 5-star Orient Queen cruise ship, 390 feet long, was lifted into the air and flipped over into the sea. The explosion carved out a 135-meter wide crater that instantly filled with seawater. The Beirut explosion is considered the largest non-nuclear blast in human history. The force was so extreme that it even disturbed Earth's ionosphere, the outer atmospheric layer near space, causing GPS and radio signal disruptions for a few seconds. For the people of Beirut, it was nothing short of doomsday. The city's streets were buried in destruction. Entire buildings in northern Beirut collapsed. Trees were uprooted, cars flipped upside down, and twisted steel beams littered the ground. The city's entire power supply shut down, halting rescue operations. Military bulldozers had to clear roads to let rescuers through. This tragedy claimed 218 precious lives. More than 7,000 were injured, and within moments, 12% of Beirut's population was left homeless. Hospitals that were supposed to treat the wounded were themselves destroyed. Many hospitals treated victims in parking lots and on sidewalks. St. George Hospital, located just a few meters from the port, was completely destroyed. Yet doctors continued treating patients on broken pavements. Even then, thousands of victims had to be turned away because there was no space left, not even on sidewalks. It is said that the homeless were sheltered by families whose houses survived the blast. For 7 long hours, the fire kept burning, and black smoke covered the skies well into the next day. The smell of sulfur and burnt rubber lingered in the air for days. But within days, protests erupted across Lebanon. People demanded answers from their government. How could this disaster have happened? Who was responsible? Reports reveal that Hangar 12 was being used to store oil cans, kerosene, hydrochloric acid, and 15 tons of fireworks. A recipe for disaster, just waiting to ignite. Despite all this, the warehouse had faulty wiring, no smoke alarms, no sprinklers. But most dangerously, it also contained another chemical, a consignment of 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate, stored for 7 years in plastic bags, with no proper safety measures. This chemical is usually used in agriculture as fertilizer or in the mining industry as an explosive. It has also been used in several terror attacks worldwide. The protesters demanded to know, why was such a massive amount of ammonium nitrate stored in the middle of a city where thousands lived? Who was responsible for this catastrophe? The story goes back to 2013. A Russian ship named Rosus was traveling from Georgia to Mozambique. The vessel had already been at sea for over a month when technical problems forced it to dock at Beirut. On board was 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate. But the ship never left Beirut again. According to the captain, the ship's owner was broke and hoped to pick up extra cargo from Lebanon before continuing to Mozambique. But the cargo booked from Beirut overloaded the ship, and the crew refused to sail. The owner withheld their salaries and even failed to pay port charges. Lebanese authorities detained the crew for 11 months because they had no visas to enter Lebanon. Finally, in 2014, the crew was released, but the ship was seized over unpaid fees. Its explosive cargo was confiscated and moved into Hangar 12, where it sat until the fateful day in 2020. During those 6 years, port authorities repeatedly sent warnings to government officials, urging them to act. The first warning was sent in 2014 by the former director of customs, calling it an urgent matter, but he never got a reply. According to Al Jazeera, one letter even demanded the cargo be exported immediately, as the climate conditions in the hangar were unsafe. Another suggested selling the chemicals to a Lebanese explosives company just to get rid of them. The final warning was sent in 2019, highlighting the grave danger. But still, the government ignored them. By then, a hole had formed in Hangar 12's wall, further increasing the security risk. And it was during the repair of that very hole that sparks ignited the fire, which led to the catastrophic blasts. Now, in 2025, 5 years have passed since that day. Yet the real culprits haven't been punished. In fact, most of them haven't even faced a proper trial. Political issues, ministerial immunity, and judicial conflicts kept delaying the investigation. When Judge Fadi Sawan charged high-profile ministers, he was removed. When Judge Tara Baitar revived the case, groups like Hezbollah opposed him and filed court orders to block him. From 2022 to 2024, the investigation was completely frozen. In January 2025, after Nawaf Salam became prime minister and following renewed Israel-Hezbollah conflict, the case was reopened. By May 2025, reports emerged that Judge Tariq Baitar is expected to deliver his final verdict on August 4th, 2025, the 5th anniversary of the blast. Even today, the scars of the tragedy remain. At the blast site, an 8-foot-tall statue now stands. Built from broken glass, twisted steel, and rubble of destroyed homes, it depicts a woman holding a sword, commemorating the 218 lives lost that day. At her feet lies a broken clock, forever frozen at 6:08 p.m., the exact time of the explosion. And so, Beirut still remembers. We hope you will like and share this Aflare TV video. Thank you for your kind comments. We'll meet again in the next amazing video.